everyone. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Pam. And thank you so much for inviting me down to Columbus, Georgia. This is a first for me. I've never been to Columbus, Georgia, so now I can say, I can put it on the map, okay? Again, thank you so much. Like my husband mentioned with the bio, I've been in the personal finance industry for over 12 years now. I got my first real estate license at 19 years old as a sophomore in college and went on to found a brokerage during my senior year. So I was doing an entrepreneurial studies project, what they thought was a project, and it ended up being a business that we owned and operated for 6.5 years. But what I found through that experience was not that I just loved real estate. What I loved was taking people through the journey, the people who would come to me and say, I really want this. This is what my goal is. This is my dream. It has been my lifelong dream, but I have no idea how I'm going to get there. And so what really fulfilled me was taking their hand and helping them through the journey, and whether it took 6 months or a year or 2 years, finally being able to get someone to that point where they never thought that they would be. But what I've learned in over 12 years is that personal finance success, building wealth, getting out of debt, all these things that we make New Year's resolutions about every year, have 100% nothing to do with money. See, most people think, well, if I get a new job, if I just get this promotion, and if I can get this business off the ground, all my worries will go away. How many people know that's not true? Right? That's not necessarily true. And we know it's not true because we've seen the lottery winners. Right? We've seen the shows, right? And they say, well, what happened after the lottery? And you follow them 5 years later, and they're more broke than they were right before they won the lottery. And we've seen the entertainers, and we've seen the athletes, and we've seen all these people who have had millions of dollars run through their fingers, run through their hands, and they still don't have the personal finance success that they thought that they would have, right? And so that has taught us that, again, building wealth, getting out of debt, being happy, it has 100% nothing to do with money, but it has 100% everything to do with us and our mindset towards money. See, people run into money all the time. A lot of my clients don't have an issue with earning money. They have an issue with what comes after you get it in your bank account. That's where we fall off. Anybody agree? No? Okay. So what I've done is basically, with all this education and the helping people all these years, is basically create my own little system, because I got a little tired of watching CNN and watching people on the news and reading the books where they say, just get a budget. Okay, well, that's like saying just lose weight, right? I know big girls rock, Pam. I know, I heard you, right? But we know, we've been told, we know what to do. That's not the problem. The problem is what's stopping us from actually doing it, right? And so you can't have personal finance success by only focusing on skill set. Skill set is great, but it's nothing without mindset. And that's what we miss. So that's why you can put $1 million in someone's hand, but if they weren't managing $100 properly, they're not going to all of a sudden get really smart, because now you've put $1 million in their hands. Does that make sense? So I came up with this system, and I want to share it with you guys. Is that okay? And I hope that you'll be able to take a little nugget away. Like my husband said, if I could deposit one thing in you today that you can take into the next 10, 15, 20 years, then I will be so happy that I drove 2 hours to get here, okay? So the first part of this, step one, would be create wealthy habits. I believe that that is the foundation to our success. What do I mean? So many of us, the way we interact with money comes from what we learned when we were growing up, right? Our financial blueprints were determined by 3 things primarily. 1, verbal influences. What did you hear when you were growing up? So I know that Pam is a Christian woman, so I'm going to assume this is an audience full of Christian men and women. Now, I grew up in the church. I grew up at an AME church in Los Angeles, and I was at church on Sundays for church, Sunday evenings for the extra stuff, Mondays for Bible study, Tuesdays for choir rehearsal, Wednesday for midweek. I was at church every day. My grandmother was not a joke. She's not playing around, right? So I'm at church every day, and what I used to hear all the time growing up was that often misquoted scripture, which is, money is the root of all evil, right? We conveniently left off the love of money. But okay, money is the root of all evil. Well, what happens to people when you continuously hear that message over and over again? When you have money, do you want that? Do you want to be associated with evil? No. No, you don't. And what we tend to do without even knowing is self-sabotage. So you might get some money, but you quickly find a way to lose it because, you know, it's you want to be closer to God because broke people are closer to God, right? Because that's what we get trained. And then we say things like, you know, they're just filthy rich. Well, what's filthy about? Like, what's wrong here? Or, you know, it doesn't take all that, you know. And you hear all these things, but what we don't realize is those things get deposited to the very back, the recesses of our mind. And we remember that. Even not consciously, we're thinking it. And so we self-sabotage. So we have to find a way to replace those files. You can't take them away and not replace it with anything. So I believe in affirmations. I believe in speaking things over your life. We know that words are so powerful. But if we don't stop walking around talking about how broke I am and complaining and whining to our friends about, oh, girl, these bills, they're just too much. If we don't stop saying those things and not replace it with something positive, we will get the same results over and over again. Okay? So, and I know I don't have a lot of time, Pam, so I'll be brief. So, let's create wealthy habits. I have so much more about that. But anyway, the next part is earn more money. So once you get the habits together, earn more money. A lot of my clients, you know, there are a lot of people who come to me. It's not about a matter of mismanaging. You know, numbers are very black and white. It is what it is. So if your income is less than what you have to put out just to maintain the basics, yes, you felt me? Yeah. She said, oh, my goodness. Yes, then there's an issue there that maybe is not about cutting things. Maybe there's nothing else left to cut. We've cut off cable. We don't eat out. We don't do all these things, and they're still not making sense. Well, maybe it's earn more money. And what I would like to offer you today is the fact that God gives us the ability to produce wealth. He said it in Deuteronomy. He gave us the ability to produce wealth, but what does that look like? We each were born with our own unique set of gifts, talents, skills, abilities. There's something that you do better than anybody else around you with the least amount of effort. With the least amount of effort, okay? That's in you. He gave it to you freely so that you could produce wealth. Well, when we don't use it, we insult God. Because we don't use it, and then we pray that he pay the water bill, and he pay the light bill, and he pay this bill month after month, but he gave it to you freely. And so when you don't use it, there is nothing else that you can complain about to God if you're not using your gifts. You were born as the solution to someone's problem. There is someone waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning every night wishing that they had what you have. And you're waking up wishing you can pay bills, but you've got something that somebody else wants. Come on. You've got it in you. So earn more money. That's what that's about to me. The next thing is manage money wisely. So now you've got it, but this is back to the lottery winners and the athletes and the celebrities that are filing bankruptcy and in foreclosure just like the average person, right? Once you get it in your hands, you have to manage money wisely. First thing is, no matter what you have coming in, you must save money. Savings is not optional. Even if it's $2, you have to get the momentum going, okay? You know, you can't have money not meet money. It's just not a good thing. If your bank account is at 0 by your next check, like get 2 pennies in there. Have money meet money. You know, we like friends. We like to get in groups, right? Your money is the same way, okay? I like to say that savings makes the difference between a crisis and an inconvenience. It makes the difference between a crisis and an inconvenience. We've all been at a point in our lives where if we had $500, it would have made a world of difference if we had $500 saved. That's a tire, that's someone's transmission, that's a medical bill. $500 would have made the difference. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And these days, if you look to your left and your right, they may not have it. So there's no one for you to even borrow from, okay? So that I can't go too deep into that. I hope I have an opportunity to come back to Columbus at some point. And you'll get the full thing. And the last thing is relationships and money, managing your relationships. Because people these days are very uncomfortable with having conversations around money. And unfortunately, we can't afford to be uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable having the uncomfortable conversation. We have to get comfortable with teaching our children about money. because they are in a whole different situation than maybe you were when you got out of college or when you got out of high school. The days of, oh, I can have a job for 30 and 40 years, and if I just work hard, they'll just take care of me and I'll be able to retire, those are gone. But the problem is, children that are being raised these days have a warped sense of entitlement. And we're not helping them get any better, but they're now competing not just locally, not just in Columbus. They have to compete throughout their state. They have to compete nationally. They have to compete globally for the same job, because now they're fighting for a job that someone can do over in India while they're right here with $100,000 in student loans. So we have to manage these conversations. We have to be okay with sitting down with our spouse once a month and getting real instead of avoiding the topic, because that's what's driving a wedge between families. And once the devil breaks families up, the rest is over. So one of the main reasons that couples break up, or that their siblings, I counsel people all the time fighting with their siblings. They're fighting. I lent my mom $500. She didn't pay me back. I'm taking her on Judge Judy. What kind of stuff is this? We got to stop with this stuff. All because we're not comfortable sitting down and having those conversations. So I'd like to offer you this. My website is patricewashington.com. I've written over 250 articles at this point on everything that I've shared today. They've been featured in Huffington Post, Upscale Magazine, Black Enterprise. Where else, honey? All over the place. Hello Beautiful, tons of sites have linked to them all over the place. But please, if I mention anything that has been a struggle for you, please use that as a resource. And I give other resources on the website as well. But Pam, that's pretty much it. I just want to leave you with that building wealth, whatever you want financially, it really has nothing to do with money. You got to do the inside work first, because remember that your roots create your fruits. Your fruits are your results. That's what you have before you. So if there is any foreclosure, if there's bankruptcy, if there's negative accounts, if you're getting tired of Bank of America calling you, whatever it is, we have to take responsibility, because personal finance is about personal responsibility. It can't always be about the economy and everyone else, because we all take a part in where we are in our lives. And it's no different with finances. So I thank you guys so much for your time.
Unity with Pam Hovey is being brought to you by these sponsors.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
You love your parents, and it's hard to see them struggle to keep their independence. Magnolia Manor can give your parents the assistance they need to enjoy life. You won't have to worry if they are eating well or taking their medications properly. And they'll be in a safe, secure environment with no need to worry about cleaning house or doing yard work. Visit magnoliamanor.com to learn more. Magnolia Manor, just down the road. A community of convenience, caring, and fun.
My name is Japal. 2 years ago, I received a kidney transplant. When I was 21 years old, I started dialysis. And for 7.5 years, I was a patient receiving treatments 3 times a week for 4 hours each session. And man, it was hard. After receiving my kidney transplant, I was able to find and marry the love of my life. My kidney transplant gave me my life back.
You have the power to donate life. Be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. To find out how, go today to donatelifegeorgia.org.
When Bill Larson's brakes started squeaking. When Pam Summers' check engine light went on. And before Tom headed out on vacation. They all came here. Midas. Total car care. Total customer care. That's the Midas touch.
Enrichment Services is giving a young child in our community a head start on kindergarten. Enrichment Services is providing a nutritious meal for senior citizens. Enrichment Services, a host of educational and assistance programs to benefit all ages.
Now we're getting ready to hear from Michael Soul from Davis Broadcasting. Mike Soul on a roll.
How you doing?
All right.
Let's give Pam a round of applause and say happy birthday to Pam. Happy birthday, man, and thank you for having me. Again, my name is Michael Soul from Davis Broadcasting. For those who don't know, I represent Davis Broadcasting here in Columbus, based in Columbus. We've got 6 radio stations that we operate here in the city. The number 1 station I have to promote and plug is Foxy 105. Is that your ringtone? Ringtones tell on you sometimes, but yeah. And so we've got Foxy 105, the number 1 station in the market. We also have, for those who love gospel music, my gospel music fans out there, we have Praise 100.7, okay? If you love old school R&B, like some Marvin Gaye or some Anita Baker or some Whitney Houston, we've got 92.7, K92.7. That's one of our stations as well. We got any sports fans in the building? Sports fans? We've actually got 2 sports stations, ESPN Radio 95.7 as well as 1580. They simulcast. And then the station that I like to say started it all. It's been on the air more than 50 years. As a little one, growing up on Fort Benning with my dad, who was in the military, it was the station that I got in the car and listened to when it was time to get in. They drove, back in the day, it was a Ford Torino, I think was the name of it. You remember those? And it was green. And so on Fort Benning, I remember getting in the back seat of this car and acting like I was on the radio and listening to the station AM 1340 WOKS. Let's give them a round of applause, because that station has been on the air more than 50 years. And so I get paid to talk, so I could be up here all day. but this Sunday we've got a great event coming up. It's called Jazz on the River. And I don't know if we had any jazz music lovers in here. We had any jazz music lovers? Okay. All right, okay, hello. And so this Sunday, we've got our next event. It's absolutely free. We partnered with the city and the Columbus Civic Center. It's on the back side. It's absolutely free from 6 to 8:30. We've got Gabby McGee from Atlanta. We've got a local act, Tailor Made Band, that'll be performing. And then a jazz violinist who I just talked to this morning, Gerald Damien, who will be coming in from North Carolina to perform. You know about Gerald? Gerald's super hot, and he's excited to come to Columbus. So it's absolutely free. Please feel free to come out on Sunday. I have to give thanks and praise to God for just blessing me and my family. My wife and I recently opened a bakery, and when I saw that cake from Winn-Dixie, I wasn't mad. I said they could have ordered it from us, but it's called Soul Cakery, and we're located in Phoenix City on Highway 431, just near CVCC in Troy State. So please support. And that's what it's all about, giving back. Again, now I'm on the service side, serving as well as continuing to serve in other community organizations like Project Rebound, which we help youth in the city as well. Election is coming up. Are we fired up? Are we excited? I don't care who you're voting for. Okay, I'm not here to promote anything. I just want you to go out and vote. Okay, make your voice count, make your vote count. We know the issues in the country. We know, but if you want any say-so in that, then exercise your right to vote on November 6th. So that'll be a campaign on our stations as well. So anyway, thank you for having me, Pam. Thank you so much. I'm just glad to be here. And again, a round of applause to you, being in media, staying at it, staying focused, staying vigilant. I know it gets tough, but with support, and no matter how big or small, just continue to do what you do. And anytime we can help you with Davis Broadcasting, we're here for you. So thank you very much. Let's give Pam a round of applause. And thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Unity with Pam Willis Hovey is being brought to you by these sponsors.
When you've been hurt in an accident, It helps to have experienced and knowledgeable attorneys to help you in your time of need. For over 30 years, our office has been helping victims in auto and truck accidents or with work-related injuries. We resolve thousands of cases both in and out of court. So if you've been hurt and it wasn't your fault, talk to Walt.
Talk to Walt.
Habla con Walt.
Talk to Walt.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great-tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
When Bill Larson's brakes started squeaking. When Pam Summers' check engine light went on. And before Tom headed out on vacation. They all came here. Midas. Total car care. Total customer care. That's the Midas touch.
Why Chalmers?
We manage the details so that businesses don't have to. Our expert consultants understand the individual needs of all of our clients.
We're here for you.
It's great to have the business support of Chalmers. They handle my bookkeeping, payroll, and collections. Now I have more time to dedicate to my customers.
Your success is our success.
With affordable rates for payroll, bookkeeping, collection, and IT services, Chalmers can ease the stress of running a business.
Chalmers Support Services. What you can't do, we can.
Welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
We will hear from personal injury attorney Walter Forson, and he too came all the way from the ATL.
And have a birthday.
Thank you.
This is one of the few women I know who will tell you it's my birthday and then tell you how old she is. They'll stop soon. They'll stop soon. Again, my name is Walter Lewis Forson. On your program, it's Walter Forson. And I explain to people why I have to use my full name through the time when I was born up until high school. Everybody called me Lewis. When I went off to college, they started calling me Walter. So I've got college friends here and I've got relatives here. So in order for one of those groups to understand who I really am, I have to use my entire name. My entire name, every time. But I am a personal injury attorney, coffee. And what I do is accidents, work-related accidents, slip and falls, all kinds of injuries, because everybody knows someone who's had some kind of injury, but a lot of people don't understand what that means. And I'm going to tell you a little about what that means. I have a number of workers' comp cases here in Columbus. And the first question people ask me is, do I get paid for pain and suffering? The answer to that, sadly, is no. You don't get that in workers' comp. You can have the same injury in, say, an automobile accident that you have in a workers' comp claim, and you will probably get paid 2 to 3 times more out of the automobile accident. People don't know that. So what we do is all kinds of personal injury, and we differ from some of the names that you've heard on TV. there are a couple of things that are very, very important when you're dealing with personal injury. Number one, how much are they going to charge you? That's very important. Most people don't ask that question because personal injury is done on a percentage basis. You'll find that the guys you see talking on TV will charge you as much as 38%. But nobody asks that question when they're hurt. On a big case, that could be thousands of dollars. In workers' comp, however, the law limits you to 25%. 25. If you don't know that, you'll be very shocked at the end. Our rates is at somewhere between 33 and a third up to 35%. It used to be years and years ago, everybody charged 1/3 or 33 and a third. But over time, that's increased. So you have to ask the question now. It can mean thousands and thousands of dollars. Personal injury is all I do now. I used to do divorces, but I stopped that because I came to feel that the divorce problem is at the root of most of our problems. I truly believe that. I don't do criminal law, Madam DA, because it's just, to me, being a criminal law all the time is depressing. It is depressing. I also stopped doing divorces because I could see what would happen to a 25-year-old woman with 3 kids saying she wants a divorce. You can literally see what's going to happen 10 years from now. You can see it. So I try and encourage people to stay together. Even though I don't do divorces, I've been trying to get a program going where we could talk to people before they decide to get divorced instead of afterwards. And talk to them before they get married instead of afterwards.